Alright, hi everybody and welcome to another very exciting episode of the Android Development Video Tutorial Series. I'm your host Matthias Reich and today we'll take a look at user notification. Now, of course, there are several ways in Android to notify the user, but this episode is mainly about user notification using toast messages. Now, if you don't know what toast messages are, don't worry, I'll show you in a second. But we will also cover several other topics, like, for example, we'll take another look at click listeners. Alright, so let's take a look at the application we're about to create. So here it is. As you can see, you have an edit text view up here, then you have 9 buttons labeled with numbers, and down here you have 2 more buttons. One says multiple of 4 ? And the other one says reset. Alright, now this is probably a very useless application, but nevertheless it's real fun to play around with it. So what it does is if you click a button, like for example button number 2, it'll add the amount that is written on the button to that edit text view up here. So if you click 2, it will add 2. If you click 4, it will add 4 to that 2 to make it a total of 6. And then you can add 7, makes 13, 15 is 28, 23, 51, you can add 1, 2, and then at any time you can click that button to check if the number up here is actually a multiple of 4. Alright, so if you click that, you see here's a little message, and this is actually a toast message, right? So it fades in, it stays for a couple of seconds, and then it fades out automatically. And so now if you click it, it says, sorry, 54 is not a multiple of 4. So alright, maybe we'll add, 8 more or 6 more, make it 60, and now we click it again, and now it says yes, 60 is a multiple of 4, and the proof is 15 times 4 equals 60, right? So you can, sum up any number here and just check if that number is a multiple of 4. Now, this is pretty cool, but you can also change the base number. Currently it is checked if this number up here is a multiple of 4, but in fact you can set any number on this screen as the base number. So you could actually check this number if it is a multiple of 7, and all you need to do is you need to click the button with a 7 and just hold the mouse button. Alright, so just click it and hold it, and now when you release it, you can see that it actually turned red, and the 4 on the other hand turned black, and also that label on that button down here changed to multiple of 7 ? Right? So if you click that now, it'll actually check that number if it is a multiple of 7. And that's the case because 68 times 7 equals 476. And now you can, add something, change it, and you see, sorry, that's not a multiple of 7. Still not. No. Oh, and yeah, and 637 is actually a multiple of 7. So you can set any number as the base number and check this number if it is a multiple of that base number, right? And if you want to start over, you can just click that reset button here, and you will get a small message, everything has been reset, and you see that the number up here was set to 0, and the default base number was also set to 4 again. So now you can start over, like, adding numbers and checking them as you like. So as I said, probably this application is not very useful, but it covers certain important facts, and it's also pretty fun to play around with. so this is the application I want to create today, and I'll show you how it's done right now. Alright, so here we are in Eclipse, and today we actually won't start from scratch because it would take too much time to create that layout and to write the code for that application. So what I did, I already created the project, and also I created that layout. So this is a pretty easy layout. As I said, I won't create it from scratch, but I want to go over the details with you. So I'll change to the main XML, come up here to the top, and as you can see, our surrounding linear layout has just a padding of 8 dp, and then up here is our edit text, which is set to fill parent and wrap content. Then it's also set to be a single line, and we set editable to false because we don't want to have the user add any numbers or text in there. Then the input type we set to none. Now we did that previously, I guess it was on episode number 3, but we did that from the Java source code, but you can also set that property here in the XML. What this does is it prevents the soft keyboard from appearing, because normally if you focus an edit text view, there will be an soft keyboard on screen where you can type letters. And we don't want that for our application here, so I set the input type to none, and so that soft keyboard won't show up. Then I set long clickable to false, and this is a concept we will actually learn in this episode, because you already know that there are on-click listeners, right? You can listen for button clicks, for example. But you can also have a long click on some view object like a button, and then do something else, right? So for example, if you long click on an edit view, it'll actually show some context menu where you can select cut and paste or such things. And since we don't want that for our application, we set long clickable to false. All right. So then the default text here is 0, and we set the gravity to right to just align the text to the right. And then we assigned an ID to that edit text, and we call it text. All right, so what follows are 3 linear layouts that are horizontally aligned, and each of these linear layout contains 3 buttons, right? So each linear layout is 1 button row, and those buttons are just set to fill parent, and they have a weight of 1, so they share the space that is given to them equally. And each button has a text which is defined in that strings XML, and it actually has an ID, and they are just numbered like button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4, and so on. So those 3 linear layouts here just resemble the button rows, right? And then down here is a last linear layout which contains actually 2 buttons, and those are the buttons on the bottom, like a multiple of 4 and reset, right? And what I did to make it a bit more fancy, I just I'll set a text color for both of those buttons, and I also set a text color for that button number 3 because I wanted to make that button the default base number button, right? It's the button with a label of 4.